Hello, everybody. Just doing. so, sorry, everybody. This, as you can see from this picture, this is this woman called Clementine Ford. I think her name is. Jesus Christ! Look at that fucking face. Do you know what I mean? Just look at it. Nasty piece of work. Fucking hell on a stick. Anyway, I'll leave it there for everybody to enjoy. What I want to talk today. God almighty, I really don't like looking at this picture, but it's got to be done. It's good. People have got to see the mental. This is the demented face of Nazi feminism. You know, I mean, this is just fucking hell. Shit on a stick. I mean, you can see a lipstick from the gob and everything like that. A bit of yellow on the teeth. Jesus Christ. You know, really, really scary. Oh my God. Anyway, what I really want to, I'm having not to look at it, so I have to close my eyes if you don't mind. What I'm going to talk about is really what's been going on with the third wave feminist movement. I've been seeing a lot on the news, you know, the gender pay gap, you know, disturbing stories of guys being entrapped into, or trying to, you know, women trying to basically entrap guys and hoping they, you know, looking for a way of getting people sacked. You know, you're seeing stories of, you know, I think one guy I read on here on YouTube said he got onto a panel that you know, recruited people within the company, and the actual woman who was boss made it very clear that the only people who could be recruited were women. And when he made an objection about this on a couple of occasions, he was removed out of the company because the HR department was just women, full of women. I don't know if there's any blokes, but generally HR departments in companies seem to be just full of women in those departments. So I'm beginning to think that we need to start looking at solutions, and these solutions aren't coming up here. You know, there are stories of guys going, you know, in universities trying to, in university property, this is supposed to be government-owned property, where guys are trying to set up, you know, not just men-only groups, actually groups, you know, discussion groups that include both women and men, to discuss about feminism. And these things are being shut down deliberately by feminism. And you know, it just goes to show you how the feminist movement is a really powerful force. It's not a joke. You know, the men took the suffragette movement as a joke. They didn't honestly. They just saw the suffragette movement as, you know, little women. They'll get it soon. I'll get over it. But the suffragette movement didn't stop. They continued with their campaign until they got what they wanted. But the problem here is the feminist movement has, well, women have got what they want, what they've been asking for, which is equality. But the feminist movement is not interested in that. the feminist movement is only interested in removing the male species from this planet, and so that the feminist movement is run by middle class white women. You know, if black women think they're going to be on the gravy boat with these white nasty white bitches, they've got another fucking thing coming. You're just the sidekicks, baby. You're the fucking sidekicks of these fucking, you know, fascist bitches. You know, feminism today is fascism. That's what it is. Their agenda is to, and they've done it. They've infiltrated the universities. They've infiltrated the government. Okay, they're infiltrating as many aspects of men's society as they possibly can. For instance, look at Gamergate. The reason why that Anita, so I think her name Anita Sarkeesian or whatever bollocky name she's called, her purpose of getting into Gamergate, there were two purposes. One, to make a lot of money, and two, to try and destroy the gaming industry. Period. Because it's 95% of males, play computer games or real gamers. Most of the real gamers who deal with hardcore gaming are men. And anywhere where men dominate, the feminazis want to completely destroy it. Completely finish it, completely destroy it. Okay? They do not want to see males progressing. That's the reason why you're seeing universities now whereby it's now 40% male, 60% women. The funny thing about this is that if this was the other way around, there would be massive programs. Literally money would be put, and has been poured in, to getting girls into university. But you see, the thing is, what they want, the feminist movement wants, and I hope they succeed, because they just want to have a university of women only. And so if that's the case, that's fine. Because when women, universities around the country, literally only women can go into universities, I mean, it will just show the massive sexism that exists in this country with what the feminist movement is doing. So if there was only female-only universities, okay, and men went about their business, okay, we're going to set up our own universities. Okay, we will set up our own universities for men and men only. The government would try and shut them down. Okay, I hope that this happens one day, and I will go on a march with the guys to try and make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen, because this is getting ridiculous now, where 40% of university students are male, 20% are female. I think it's time now that we actually split the universities. There should be universities, for men and for women, and then that way, women, this so-called rape culture that they've been going on about in universities would basically cease and end. But you know what? On the one hand, I don't think the feminist movement want that. They're aiming for that. They want to remove all men from universities. But if they did get rid of all men in the universities, just imagine one day there will be, single gender universities. The female, what would they do with their time? What would they do with their time? They don't want to have completely female-only universities. Why? Look at Westminster School in London. It was originally a boys'-owned school, and there was a campaign somehow that set up. I don't know. I can't remember why, but it was a boys' school. There was a massive campaign to admit girls to force it through. Now it's a mixed school. One of the best boys' schools, original public schools in the United Kingdom, had to capitulate and turn itself into a school for boys and girls. Yet there are plenty of female-only girls' schools. So what's the problem? I think that the female-only girls' schools aren't quite as good as they think they are. I saw a report a few years back. I mean, I haven't seen the recent ones, I don't know. But Eton and Harrow, all these top schools, but boys-only schools, were right up there in the within the top 5 and top 10. I think Eton was top school at one time. So, it's all about domination. The feminazis at present, with the third wave feminism, want to dominate. Okay, they want to dominate today's society, and they're doing it, and they're succeeding by it because of the amount of manginas that are out there that are wanting to control, who see themselves as feminists and are just weak bunch of fucking twats. I just seen a video of a guy from I can't remember, Grenada or what it was. He visited Canada, and he was taking with his camera phone. There was a rally going on, and there was a poster, and he walked into the centre. They were still setting up. There was a few people talking rubbish as usual, and this banner with consent on it, and he was videoing it, and then he was videoing a few other people around, and there were people videoing him, and then suddenly someone came up to us, "What are you doing? Where are you from? What?" And this girl was asking him questions. "What are you doing? Where are you from? What part of Grenada are you from? What village?" Or what this, really trying to get every bit of information, or, asking him. And he said, "Well, why aren't you going to know? What business of yours?" The feminazi movement is a very dangerous movement. It's on the third wave. Okay? We don't know what the agenda is for the fourth wave or the fifth wave. But I'm telling you now, there are people out there, there are men out there that do not take it seriously. They don't. Why? I think because a lot of guys out there are so now empathetic with their daughters, and they don't see this as a threat to them. The fact that their boys are doing badly at school is really irrelevant. They themselves have become totally feminized. Now, listen, I'm not saying that you should allow your daughter to go down the toilet in academics, but you need to be as equally enthusiastically and make sure that you give the time to your son as you do to your daughter to make sure that he gets his grades as well. And don't just leave him to get, he's a guy, he'll sort himself out. It's wrong. Consequences are going to come in the future with this. But I think the feminist movement I believe they think they're going to win in the long term. But I think you guys, if you haven't seen Fringe, okay, you need to watch it. Okay, it's actually quite a brilliant show. I'm not a great fan of the lead, but the two guys that are in it are uber funny, really, really funny. But the whole Fringe series is brilliant because I believe it deals with feminism as well, and the future of the planet. Why? Okay, actually, for those of you who haven't seen it, I can't tell you. I'm not going to tell you to spoil your enjoyment, but no, if you get the chance, it's 5 series. It had Leonard Nimoy coming in and out of it. It was fantastic. Really, really very good show. And I think that there is a particular people who are from the future called Watchers, and that's all I'm going to say. I mean, you'll see them throughout the show at the beginning and throughout the show, but it's very poignant about who they are. I mean, they're human, but it really ties in with the story and the funny goings on during the Fringe series. So, but as I said, feminism is becoming very, very toxic. I hate saying the word. I don't like the word. But what can what else can we call it? It's, other than feminazi, which I like. I like the word feminazi. It's a nice word. That's what we should be calling them at all times. They should be called feminazis. Feminism is feminazi. It's as simple as that. But when you see these videos and you see these women talking, they are not well. They are, many of them are sick, and they need to be seen by a doctor. A few of them are actually going for I've got therapists, but they're probably feminazis themselves, and so what's the bloody point? You know what I mean? They'll just encourage them to carry on and say, no, there's nothing wrong with you, you're perfectly fine. Carry on being a total bitch, unreasonable, unlogical, stupid bitch. No, feminism is a very, very dangerous and toxic, subject. And I think that really annoys me is, there are men in work who are actually, having to tiptoe around women all the time. I mean, women are very good at talking rubbish, and there are times when you have to really put them in their place. I'll give an example where I worked for a massive, in the UK, one of the biggest telecommunications company in Europe, if not in the UK, and we were getting prepared for a month-long job to deal with broadband repair and installation. And what this job entailed, we had to learn about how to test a broadband circuit and how to test the telephone circuit. So there was 2 bits of software, and how to use another software to check the line, to check back to the exchange, to make sure that the actual equipment back in the exchange was working correctly for that particular customer's line. So, it wasn't really that difficult. To be honest with you, it was actually very good. It was handy. I think it's handy for someone who's out in the field doing broadband repair, test and repair and installation, because they can do their own testing without having to pick up the phone and ask someone to do it for them. But anyway, so we had learned over a period of a week or 2 how to use the software. Now, I'd been working out in the field for a number of years, installing telephone systems, computers, installing lines, fax machines, quite a bit of, worked in the exchange, spoke to customers, trained customers over the phone, traced customers on site using their phone system. Anyway, there is a box called an NTE5A. It's an OpenReach box, what it's called now, and it's a square box, and it's usually made up of 3 parts, and it has a split down the middle. So it's a square box with a split right in the middle. And what usually happens is when you phone up and you tell BT there's a problem with the line, it's not working, blah, 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 they ask you to do certain things, which really, to be honest with you, customers would think, well, that's really your job. But, sometimes it could help you, actually. For instance, the faceplate sometimes goes faulty. So, if you take that faceplate off, on the right-hand side of the jack itself, there is a socket that you can plug a phone into. And if you get dial tone there, you know that the faceplate is faulty. And so it then negates the need to send out an engineer. Anyway, instead of showing people this faceplate, how it works on the tape, and getting people to unscrew it and, describing we did a role play where we had two people sitting at a table, and in the middle of the table there were blocks, kids blocks, and then there was a little, I suppose, a guard. So I couldn't see what he was doing when he was mixing the blocks around, and so I had to do this role play telling him what to do with the bricks, or supposedly how to do with the bricks. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm absolutely fucking useless in puzzles. Now, I hear that Mensa does a lot of puzzles. If that case, I'd probably get 2%, 1%, I don't know. And yet, I've built 4 computers in my time. I've done computer repair on computers. I've installed computers. I've installed software. Done a tiny little bit of programming, microprocessing programming in the past. So, this Mensa IQ, I think, is put a load of bollocks. But people say, it's one of the ways of, telling whether a person's uber intelligent. Anyway, so I just wasn't getting the grips with it. I remember to my right, I had this tutting and this kissing of teeth, and it was coming from a woman. That immediately raised my back. I was fuming. The point was, there were literally 20 people in this class, and I'm always very nervous of people if I've got to perform in front of people. Me and this other guy were sitting down at the table, but I was still very nervous. But you have to hold yourself together. Some people perform great in front of people, others are just not very good. I, on the other hand, just muddle my way through. But I'll tell you one thing, that was it. Tutting, and it was like, does he know what he's doing? Really quite simple. Anybody can do it. That was the attitude she came. So I just calmly, I didn't shout. I didn't even really look in her direction, because everybody was standing around in the arc watching us. And I just said, you know what? It's going to be great. I addressed the group of people. I can't wait until Monday morning when we're all sitting at our desks and we've all got our phones in our hands, and we're going to have to ring the customers and speak to them and ask them to do the certain things that we're asking to do, which was to unscrew the front plate, to plug an ordinary phone, or to plug the broadband back into the phone with a filter, and to get them to perform these things. Because I've done it. I've spoken to the customer on the phone how to do this, how to do that, how to program. It was a basic thing. So for me, I was looking forward to it. But these particular, especially I think there were 3 women in this group, 3 or 4 women. I think most of them had come out of the secretarial department. Nothing wrong in that. Or they'd worked in their office all their lives. And so to be in this, because we'd all been made redundant within BT, we hadn't been sacked fully, but we had been made redundant from the jobs that we were doing, so we were having to look for another work. I should have really explained that at the beginning, but we were looking for other work. Anyway, the point was that I was making it very clear. Everybody heard me state that Monday morning I was going to enjoy seeing the way people performed on that day. So I said, I basically said, all these blocks here is a load of bollocks. It has no real relation to what we're doing. I can see what they're trying to get, trying to work out how to put these blocks together. But this is blocks. We're not dealing with the actual equipment. So what, I said, what are we doing? This is just bollocks. We're playing and wasting our time with stupid little toys. Anyway, it was all silent. Nobody said anything. I carried on what I was doing with the other guy. We finished. The manager said, right, I think everybody needs to go back to their desk. I think I was the fourth person. There was about probably another 17 people to go through. Because of that, it was ended abruptly. So I remember going to tea, and one or two of the guys slapped me on the back and said, well done, Julius. You did well. You stood up to those muppets. And Monday morning came. The particular person who had cussed and sucked their teeth absolutely collapsed. I mean, not physically, but they were physical wreck. She could not pick the phone up. She was absolutely terrified. And I was sitting in my chair, looking across. She knew I was looking at her. She could feel my eyes on the back of her neck. She knew that I wanted her to fail with uber, just completely and utterly fail. She couldn't do it. And you know what she did? Anybody else who'd never done this before had the bollocks to pick up the phone and have a go. And that's what life is about. Guys really do have a go. They may not be brilliant at a lot of things, but the one thing that we men do is we will have a go. And we will keep on going until we get it right. She didn't want to do it. And what did she do? She picked her bag and left that office. And I remember just looking at her, going out of the door. And I think she was crying. And I thought to myself, you're looking for sympathy from me? You're looking for sympathy? It ain't going to happen. And my mates were sitting around, and they said, oh, look, she's gone. I said, yeah, she's gone out the door. Serves her right, silly bitch. Ooh. Serves her right, silly bitch. No, that was a great day for me. There are some women who get way, way uppity and get very silly. You've never done engineering before, and you want to talk nonsense. And yet I've been in the game, engineering, well over 20 odd years, and I was customer facing. I was the sharp end of dealing with customers and a lot of women, especially a nasty, evil American women. I'll tell you this now. I have come across literally the most nastiest people. I'm being very serious. In business, the nastiest people I've ever dealt with are American white women. I don't know what's wrong with them. They've got a massive corn up their backside, up their asses, but they are the most nastiest people that you can deal with and contend with. They're not good people. They're nasty people. But I just don't give them the time of day if they're talking nonsense. I used to just pick my bag up and leave, walk out the door. it's life is a funny business. You know, women always want equality, but they can behave abysmally. There was one time this woman in an office tried to stop me and my colleague from leaving the premises, and I just barged past her, opened the door, and went out. My mate stood there like a lemon, talking to her, trying to placate. For what reason? They had Cat5 cabling that was installed by a private company. The line, okay, was from BT. Okay, it didn't work at the point where they wanted it to work on the Cat5 cabling. But when we went into the room and we tested it on the patch bro, dial tone was there. When we demonstrated it to the customer, we said, dial tone was here. You know, bring your fax machine into here, plug it in, and at least you'll still get your faxes. No, they demanded us to repair the cabling and replace it. I said, no, we can't do that. This cabling doesn't belong to BT. It belonged to a private. And she wanted to insist in standing in front of us. And no, I barged straight past her, mate. Open the door. I'm going there. I'm not going to be held hostage by nobody. Nobody's going to hold me hostage. Nobody, under any circumstance. So anyway, there you go. I believe that. But after all that waffling I'm done. I believe that men and women's universities need to be split. I also feel that schools need to split as well. And to be honest with you, it would be nice to split up the workplace. You know, women work on one floor and men work on another floor, and then you won't get all that nonsense. You know, problems between men and women. You just will not have that problem anymore. Anyway, I'm signing off. Try another video at some point or other. Thanks for listening.